Biryani, as we make it in our restaurants, we're going to need about 3 cups of rice with 6 cups of water, and the rice has to be soaking for about 30 minutes at least. I'm also going to need 3 potatoes, 3 large potatoes soaked into water for about 20 minutes at least, and I'm going to need loads of whole garam masala. So I have here some cinnamon sticks, cumin, I have peppercorns, I have cloves, I have star anise, and I have cardamom, and I have 6 bay leaves. I'm also going to add some roasted sauf. Okay, so I'm going to take a pan that's nice and hot. So important thing is this has to be nice and hot, and then turn off the flame and then add your spices because we don't want them to burn. Okay, and all of them together. We just lightly fry these and then pick them up and drop them into the bowl soaked with rice because we want the flavor to get into the rice. So I think they're lightly fried. I'm just going to pick it up and toss it into the bowl. Now that's the bowl where your rice is actually soaking. So drain off as much oil possible because we're going to use the same 3 tablespoon oil for frying our onions. Now the best part is, since your masalas are nice and hot and your water that is soaking with the rice is actually cold, and since it's the opposite, your spices are going to get diluted, giving their flavor faster into the water. That's alright, you can just leave this. And now I'm going to toss my onions. So I have my 3 large onions. I've thinly sliced, and I'm just going to break them while tossing them inside. Okay, so it's important that you thinly slice these, and these should be nice and long. Okay. Now we're going to fry this until they become nice and brown, because it's only then that the biryani rice is going to get their color and flavor. Okay, so let these fry on low flame. Now remember, I'm doing all this in the same 3 tablespoon oil that I had. And my flame is off currently because I had ensured that my pan was nice and warm because I didn't want the spices to get burnt. Okay, now I'm going to start my flame at the lowest possible and let these fry. While that's happening, I'm going to show you my bowl of rice. So that's the way it is, and you can see the spices floating into the water. Just kind of turn them around into the water so that they go deep down. Remember, for the biryani, always use the same spoon for everything. Okay, I've done that. I'm just going to let my onions lightly fry. So that's going to continue until these become nice and brown, and my flame is to the lowest. Okay, now that I see that the onions have nicely browned, okay, I'm just going to keep it to the side now. So we're going to use half the onions for tempering and half the onions for distribution over the rice while making the layers. So I'm just going to turn off the flame and put it to the side. Okay, now here I have about half a kilo of chicken. Now that includes a combination of boneless chicken as well as chicken with bone. Now generally we make biryanis this way because the boneless chicken helps you kind of eat it and enjoy it with the rice, and this can be eaten separately. But it's important to add the chicken with bone, at least 2 big pieces, so that the flavor and entire fluids of the chicken get into your biryani and give a beautiful taste. So you don't need to add any more extra stock either. Now I'm going to show you what is the marination that we do for this beautiful chicken. I have about 2 tablespoons of ginger garlic paste, that I'm going to dilute with about 6 tablespoons of water. And the reason we're adding diluted ginger garlic paste is because we don't want to really taste the ginger and the garlic while we're preparing the dish. So here is my bowl with the chicken. I'm going to add my diluted ginger garlic paste. Okay, don't worry about the water because that's really going to help the chicken cook faster. I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoonful of red chili powder, half a teaspoon of salt to taste, 1 teaspoon of cumin powder. Add about 1 teaspoonful of garam masala powder. I'm going to add Madras curry powder. Now this is easily available in the Asian stores, but in case you don't have it, it's perfectly fine. Don't really worry. We'll back it up by adding some lime together, so don't worry. So I've added about 4 teaspoonfuls of this Madras curry powder. Now I'm going to give this a nice mix. It's important that all the masala soak into your chicken pieces and they constantly remain marinated, so that when they're actually cooked, the masala doesn't easily separate off from the chicken. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of turn this over so that I can ensure that my masalas are on all sides. Brilliant. Wow, so this is kind of done. Okay, I'm now going to add about half a cup of milk to this, cold milk. The reason we add milk to this dish is because we really wanted to get the nice creamy flavor. Okay, now important thing is, do not really go mixing the chicken along with the milk. Just kind of toss it like this, because we don't want the masalas to be off the milk. Okay, now I'm going to leave this like this for at least about 2 hours, because I want the masalas to get into the chicken really well. So I'm going to leave this for 2 hours. So here we have our rice with the spices, which has been soaking for about an hour now. I'm going to cook this rice. Now since it's in a glass bowl, I particularly kept it in a glass bowl so that I can cook it in my microwave. Now generally the amount of time you take to cook your rice, take about 4 to 5 minutes less the time if you're cooking in a microwave. If you're cooking on an open flame, just add these contents as is into a nice open dish and cook it into the open dish and keep checking until it's about 3/4 done. That's when you can stop cooking and drain off all the water. So I'm going to do exactly that. However, I'm just going to cook this in my microwave and I'm going to show you the rice once it's about 3/4 done or 70 to 80% done. Now in a nice open hollow dish, you are going to need a nice thick, a hard bottom hollow dish, and it should be nice and open so that your biryani cooks really well and everything can be seen. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of oil. Now add half the quantity of your fried onions to the dish. Just kind of spread it around. I'm going to keep half of them for my biryani rice. Spread this. Now what I have done is I have made a smooth paste of 1 onion, 1 tomato, 3-4 slices of garlic, some coriander leaves. Now I have made that into a smooth paste. All of these were raw, and I'm going to add that paste to my mixture so that I get a nice base. So there you go. It's just in the interest of time that I made it earlier so that we don't kind of waste time, and it's easy to remember. It's just 1 onion, 1 tomato, 3-4 petals of garlic, some coriander, mint leaves, and 1 tomato. Okay, I'm gonna keep my flame to the minimal. Just mix this, let this cook for about a minute and a half. Now if you feel that you're going to need more of the masala because you enjoy more of the spices, then go ahead and add the same paste twice the quantity. So this time you could use, say, about 2 onions, 2 tomatoes, 8 petals of garlic, some coriander, mint leaves, and 2 tomatoes. So I'm going to do exactly that. I am going to double up my quantity because we really like the thick masala in the biryani. We don't like the biryani very dry, but it's a matter of choice. Just add about 3-4 tablespoons of water to allow this to come to a quick cook. Now since it's on low flame and your vessel is nice and huge, it's heavy bottom, it's gonna take a little while, but don't worry. I'm gonna add about half a cup of green peas as well. So I'm gonna make my biryani really rich. I'm going to add my soaked potato pieces as well now. Give this a nice mix. going to wait another 2 minutes until this becomes nice and hot. Now that I know that this has begun cooking, I'm going to slowly add my chicken along with the milk. Now it's important that you keep the flame to the lowest because it's milk and we don't want it to get curdled. At the same time, the richness that the milk can provide, nothing else can provide for this beautiful biryani. So I'm going to add my chicken and the milk slowly. Now if you see, look at the chicken pieces. They still have all the masalas on, all the marination on. That's the beauty of this marination. And which is why we do not have to stir it when you add the milk. Just kind of give it its space. I'm going to just add my masala. Now gently give this a nice mix. Once again, don't go popping over the chicken pieces. See the beautiful color that this is coming up with? So it's important to use that paste of the onion and the tomato that I told you. Okay, this is going to be nice and rich. I'm going to add about half a cup of water. So I've added that to my marination bowl so that all my spices can be used pretty well. Added that. Now it's important to let this come to a quick boil. So I'm just going to keep it open and let it come to a boil. Now you see my water has got nicely evaporated and my chicken and potatoes are also 3/4 boiled. So it's like a nice thick gravy paste. Okay. Now at this stage I'm going to start adding my 3/4 cooked rice, which is absolutely ready. So I'm going to start popping it into my biryani in the form of layers. Okay, because of the nice garam masala, our rice is actually very fragrant. Okay, I'm going to start popping half the proportion of my rice into this. Toss it around so that it makes a nice layer. Now I'm going to add some amount of my onions that I had kept aside. I'm going to toss these. Now these onions are nice and brown, so they're going to pass on some flavor and color as well. 3-4 cashews to make them nice and rich. Okay. Now I'm going to add the second layer of my rice, which is the lower layer. So this will be more cooked than the upper layer. Okay. Just kind of make them into beautiful layers. I'm going to toss up my remaining onion. Okay. I'm adding 4 or 5 cashews again. I'm going to sprinkle some salt because I have not added salt when I made the rice, for the simple reason that your mixture also has salt. So just kind of sprinkle salt onto the rice at this stage so that it can go down as well. And it will release any other extra moisture that the rice has. Now I have here some saffron powder. So I put it into some warm water and I made a slight watery mixture. So I'm just going to toss it over so that this gives nice fragrance and shade to my biryani. You can also just sprinkle saffron if you wish, but I generally like it mixed with the water so that it kind of seeps through very easily. Brilliant. Now I'm just going to sprinkle very little rice so that I don't want the saffron really wide and open. I want the flavor to set into the rice. So I'm going to sprinkle my remaining amount of rice. Now once you're done with this, you could actually sprinkle some coriander if you like, but I'm not going to add coriander because we don't add it in this recipe. Okay. Now I'm going to close the lid. Now important thing is, you need a nice glass lid so that you can see the biryani getting cooked. Okay. And you should be able to see the steam getting accumulated on your glass lid. So let the vessel be nice and airtight so it just fits kind of well. And all you're going to do is keep your flame at the lowest and let this cook for nice 30-35 minutes. And Then by the end of 20 minutes, your entire house is going to be fragrant of your biryani. That's when you're going to realize that it's actually begun cooking. And follow this recipe exactly the way I'm telling you, please. It's a request. Because if you want to get this typical Delhi chef special style, which I have devised, it's my request that you make it the way I'm telling you. Shoot any questions that you guys have and I'll be more than happy to answer them. So I'm going to show you how this looks after about 30-35 minutes. So after about 30-35 minutes, my entire house has the fragrance of the biryani. Just opened the vessel. Wow, your rice is absolutely done, as you can see. And you've got some nice colored rice with the saffron, so the flavor is beautiful. I'm going to show you how well my chicken down there is done. Okay, wow, look at the masala. And some of the rice has already got coated with it. Lovely. This is my chicken piece. See, it's so well done. It's got its masala around and the rice all over it. Wow, this is lovely, mouth-watering. Now this is the way, biryani is traditionally made, and that's the way we make it in our restaurants. And this is a signature biryani. It's a chef special biryani that I have devised. And trust me, it's a very big hit in our restaurants. There are times when the biryani gets over and we still keep getting orders. But that aside, I have taught you this biryani now. You can actually make this at home. And I'm really happy that someone requested for this. So, you can start tasting and eating this. However, I'm just going to keep it for another 2-3 minutes. For the simple reason being, if there is any steam that kind of goes off, if there's a little bit of water or any milk left because we've added milk, that kind of goes off. So keep it open for about 3 to 4 minutes and let the steam kind of go out, and then you can serve this. And trust me, this richness and the softness to your chicken is only because of the milk. That just makes it more rich and creamy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. So I've kind of got a little out in the plate because I have some people who are ready to pounce onto the biryani. So I just wanted to show you, I have kind of mixed some part. So when you serve, you go from bottom to the top. So go to the least layer at the bottom and get the rice up and put it into your plate. That's how you're going to get equal amount of the masala, the chicken. So look at the color. It has got white rice, yellow rice, it's got the saffron colored rice. And it looks yummy and it's nice and a little moist, but at the same time your rice is nice and whole. It's not got soft. So that's the beautiful way of making a biryani. Most importantly, nothing has got stuck into my vessel. That's because of the richness of the milk, right amount of moisture, and I'm going to enjoy this. So thank you very much, and hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and you guys will try it out in your homes. And do write to me if in case you want me to really teach you or to cook with you a recipe of your choice. I'll be more than happy because I believe in inspiring a lot of people to cook. And now that I have that kind of expertise, I want to pass it on to everyone. So thank you, and see you again in my next video. Bye-bye.